Clap.
Oh,
it
no,
did.
It really
It broke.
did break.
It broke.
It broke. We finally broke the clapper. It happened. And thankfully, we didn't break your leg last night, Dingo. Dingo comes in with these injuries and bruises and no longer snowboards every day of his life, which is what he used to do, but he still comes in with bruises. What happened to you last night, dude? I'm looking at your leg right now. You have a hole in your ankle.
Yeah, no, I had my first official bird accident.
It's insane. So what happened?
So obviously, living downtown, birds are now just infected. I only just signed up recently.
Yeah.
But now
it is very easy to do, by the way. It's
now
like,
I walk out my door, there's a slew of birds and limes and wheels, and I have all these transportation devices right at the feet of my door.
so many options.
I have so many options to go eat dinner or go to the supermarket or wherever I have to do.
Yeah.
So I now kind of bird around.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if I start birding from downtown to the office.
I won't be. I'd be proud of you, actually.
If I start putting a bird in the parking lot.
I mean, dude, that leg looks horrible, dude. So you just took a spill last night.
Yeah, I took a big spill. I was doubling a friend of mine because he didn't have the app. And so I put him on the back. We were doubling. I got up to a good speed, and I was ducking in and out of the in the streets and on the curb. And what happened is I was up on the curb, and I was trying to come back onto the street, and there were these like pylons, which are obviously new, but they've been put there so people don't do what I'm doing. But I'm full speed, and I've gone and I've clipped like a metal pylon. And instead of just letting go, I tried to like counter it and ride it out with somebody on my back, which means we just...
Isn't that the first thing in the bird pamphlet? Don't double ride these things. It's got to be the first thing that happens in that pamphlet.
Yeah,
and you
so
did it.
I'm stuck. I got a huge hole in my foot. Like 2 girls came running up. Oh, it's huge. Like, are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah.
And I'm laughing, which means I'm hurt.
Oh my God.
But,
well, I mean, at least thankfully that didn't make the front headlines. But I know that a lot of things have recently. What are we kicking things off with this week?
Well, nothing. There's no sport.
I know, which is tragic.
It's ridiculous.
What are we going to do? Talk about tennis?
No, we're going to talk about Women's FIFA World Cup.
Ping pong? I wouldn't be upset if we talked about ping pong, by the way. I wouldn't.
The FIFA Women's World Cup's going on right now. It's being held in France. America is doing pretty well. I mean, they beat Thailand 13-0.
They beat was that the team of Phuket, Thailand?
The team of Phuket, Thailand.
Yeah, okay.
No, that was the team of Bangkok.
Yeah, got it.
So the Women's World Cup FIFA is going on right now, which is cool. It's exciting. America has always had an amazing female soccer presence. So
I know.
It looks like they'll be playing France in the final, I believe. I haven't been paying too much attention, but I've seen it on TV a lot, and I know the American female soccer team is one of the best in the world, and they have a big presence here.
Yeah.
Female, like growing up, when I first came here, I remember... I was so crazy how big female soccer was.
I mean, you remember that epic photo of like when America won?
Yeah.
That chick with her shirt off. She was like, rah, raging.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So hopefully they all take their shirts off this time.
Yes. Absolutely. Well said.
What do you know? So no basketball. They did the award show, The Green Freak. The Big Greek Freak.
Oh, not the Green Freak, the Greek Freak. The Greek Freak. I hope he gets one soon. He will, man.
Yeah,
they took it close. You can't lose 4 in a row after you go up 2-0, though.
Giannis Akapa Kupo.
Akapa Kupamumpo.
He did an amazing speech, man. I don't know if you saw it or you saw any clips, but he was crying. The whole audience was crying.
Really?
You know, like he lives, like he came from no means of Greece, and he lives still today. And like, I believe last I saw, he was in a 2-bedroom apartment. He's got his sister, his mom, his family. Like, he's a very family man and didn't come from much, and has kind of kept it that way. And I think like by him going to the Milwaukee Bucks, was a huge statement of like who he is, and it sounds like he's going to stay in. But
Milwaukee. I mean, I think Milwaukee is. I've been there once, and the town is really like. I mean, dude, I would not want to hang there for more than 48 hours.
No,
it's tough. But the light, the energy and enthusiasm he's brought to the team and probably brought to that city is amazing. Kawhi's kind of the same person though, in a sense, right? Wasn't he driving his like 98 Tahoe to the basketball court like last week?
I didn't see that. Maybe
I think he does. He's like the same dude, which I dig. I'm like, dude, all the power to these guys. It's so cool.
So my question is, where do you think Kawhi's going to end up?
That's a good question, man. It's just, you see, there was this thing on him packing up all these boxes outside of like Crate and Barrel, wherever the hell he was, and saying he's going to
Crate and Barrel. He's got fried chicken too.
they got a photo of him, and they said, okay, he's packing up for Los Angeles. That's what he said. He said, I'm coming to LA. Does that mean he's coming here to hang for the summer with his boys?
But that's what I wanted to say. Like most
the
NBA,
Clippers?
all the NBA players that we know, everyone lives either here in New York in the summertime. They don't stay in Milwaukee or Toronto in the summertime.
Yeah.
Listen, he is a free agent. He went there and did what he did. He won a championship.
Yeah.
Is he coming to Los Angeles for the summer to go back to Toronto, or is he coming to Los Angeles? Listen, you don't win a championship and move to LA to become a Clipper.
Right. I mean, why do you win a championship in San Antonio to move to Toronto to win a championship?
He opted to leave Toronto. The Spurs. Like it was on his will.
Right.
Something happened there, and he said, "I want out." Like something.
But he chose to go to Toronto, right?
He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, like he opted out of his contract to go to Toronto.
It was Drake.
So there was a falling out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I can see. Listen, the Lakers now with AD, you got LeBron. I mean, I think if you add Kawhi into that equation, it just becomes insane. It's like the new, what Golden State used to be, 3-4 years ago. Who knows? That would be insanity, but I could see him going to the Clippers. I think he'll win a championship wherever he goes, right? That's what he's
already won 2, so is he going to win another one?
That would be impressive. That would be beyond impressive.
But
we'll see.
Lou Williams was 6th man of the year again, and he just had his best year on the Clippers. Kawhi, Lou, the Clippers finished above the Lakers this year. That was one of their better seasons, and they kind of had no stars.
Yeah.
So, listen, I just think on a dynasty, like, you coming to LA to play for the Clippers.
I know.
Why wouldn't you come and play with Uncle Braun?
Yeah, it's tough.
You look great yellow on purple.
Grandpa Braun, dude. Why wouldn't you come over and hang with Grandpa Braun? Excuse me.
Grandpa Braun.
Yeah, Grandpa Braun.
And NHL draft?
Yeah, what's going on there? You probably know more about this than me, man, at this point.
Jack Hughes, first overall pick going to the New Jersey Devils.
Okay.
Trevor Zegras.
Hey, isn't it interesting, though, by the way, Dingo, how...
No, 9th over goes to the Anaheim Ducks. So.
Anaheim Ducks got number 9. I did know that.
Yep.
Isn't it interesting, by the way, still today, Dingo, the way they do the trading of, like, how they select what order you're going to be in is based upon a couple balls and a wheel? And you pick it out. I
mean, I don't really know.
That's how it goes. It's like
that sounds like bingo, dude.
No, it is. It's like a game of bingo.
So you're trying to tell me the NHL of the way that they do their drafting is based off a game called bingo?
100%. That's how it is.
You guys are so cowboy.
It's out of control. It's like, near the Anaheim Ducks, select, and he picks out the ball with the number on it. It's wild. This is the truth. Yeah.
I know that you. It's wild. I know that you wanted to talk about last night's Democratic debates, night 1.
Yes. And I want to talk about it a little bit and touch upon it because I'm trying to get myself a little bit more over the hump in terms of just what's happening in politics. I feel like I've just been out of the loop. I'm sure a lot of people listening are maybe a little out of the loop.
We've kind of been open about us kind of being out of the loop. We check in, we read headlines and we read stories. I think like everyone else, I try and look at everything from both sides. I'm not trying to... we've already said this, I think both parties do good and do bad things.
Yep.
And I think that's always been the case. And I think that's no different than the situation we're in now. The Democratic Party needs some stars to even shine. And
when I looked at that list, that lineup yesterday, I was like, I can't even believe there are some of these people in here on this stage right now that are trying to be president. Like, it's insane. It's sanity.
So, and you know this too, though, but last night was night 1.
Yep.
Of their debate. So I think it was 10, and tonight.
Yep.
The next 10, which seem to be some of the more bigger names. I think Joe Biden's in it tonight. I think
Bernie's tonight.
Kamala Harris.
Booker was last night, and I don't know. I wouldn't even be able to say who the front runner is based upon last night. I don't know.
You kind of said it right there. Cory Booker had the most time last night. Yep. He spoke for 10 minutes, just over nearly 11 minutes. Beto... he spoke for just over 10 minutes. Elizabeth Warren, kind of your 3 front runners from last night, just looking on a poll I'm looking at here from CNN. I watched the doco on Beto when he ran for... Now I'm going to mess it up.
Yeah.
I think it was governor for Ted Cruz in Texas.
Yeah.
He almost won.
Yeah.
And I think if he had won and became governor of Texas...
Is Beto... Who's the governor of New York? He's up there. I don't know his name, but he's up there. He was one of them yesterday. I forget his name. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how tonight's goes, especially with Bernie up there, who I know you've been to a couple of events.
Bill de Blasio from New York.
That's
he only
right.
spoke for 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's got really messed up teeth. It's
and
really
he's the
hard to
mayor of
watch.
New York.
Yeah, it's interesting.
well, I mean, I've never been shy of the relationship that I've had with Bernie, and I have been invited to a couple of his events. And like I said, like, I support all these. I support anybody, and I think politics is a hard race. And I think the only reason that Bernie's still doing what he's doing is because he believes there's a system that hasn't been fixed, and he's going to keep fighting until he's got no more fight left in him. So. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool to me, you know? Like, It's like if you believe in something, go and take after it. And I think what Bernie's standing up for now, and I think what a lot of the Democrats are standing up for now, and something that we kind of believe in too, is like to free college debt.
Yeah. Well, the front runners in that are Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are the two talking about that, I think, in the front the most, right?
Yeah.
About how we're going to handle that. But I don't know if I necessarily agree with how Bernie has addressed student debt in looking to Wall Street to kind of up the fees for whenever you start to trade or start to do these trades. Like these are pretty insane fees. I think once you start doing for a bond trade, he wants to take 0.1% of that trade to go back to paying off student debt. When you start to talk about investors and like dealing with commissions and points, like it's already so crazy. Like once you start to get above 3-4%, it's crazy on all these fees for people. So I think the stock market and people who are invested in the market are going to take it in kind of a negative way. No one wants to pay more fees on things that they're investing their own money into, you know?
So can you explain this to me? If they were able to, in 2008, clear Wall Street's debt, which the government did, they bailed them out.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
They're saying, well, the Democratic side or Bernie or Elizabeth or who is saying that if they could do it for Wall Street, why can't they do it for college debt?
Why can't they come back now and do it for, why can't they do it for
why
college
can't the
debt?
government, if the government could bail out Wall Street, why couldn't they bail out college debt?
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, the whole idea of these student loans and student debt and all this stuff really is a horrible thing when you think about it, because it's like people have not been able to pay for higher education. So they implored this idea around, college debt, right? And it's ruining people's like futures in a sense of people aren't buying homes now like as much as they used to be.
Well, it's almost impossible.
People aren't starting their own businesses now because they're stuck in this debt. Like people, it's a huge setback, right? In terms of like someone's growth out of college. It's just like you can't do things anymore because you have this monkey on your back.
So explain this to me, like when Wall Street in 2008, when the economy crashed here in America or globally, the financial crisis, they basically, all the big bankers and all the big Wall Street people all got in a room and got on the phone with the government. Is that what happened? Kind of.
I'm not the best expert at this, but Freddie and Fannie Mac is the phrase of like kind of these how this whole thing happened. It was just basically this manufactured huge inflated bubble.
Yep.
That was just so out of control in terms of lending and in terms of debt.
Yep.
That someone had to come in and step in and fix it. And so crazy, man. Yeah, I feel like it's a very similar thing that's happening there right now with student debt. And listen, I think it's a very aggressive thing to put in place, but I think you have to when you're talking about trillions of dollars.
So my next my next question is who stands up? Because I was thinking about this last night. The big colleges aren't going to say, "Hey, let's clear student debt," because that's how they make money.
100%.
Right? So they're not going to get in the room. USC, Harvard, they're not going to get in a room and say, "Hey, let's go and like clear student debt, guys. Let's make college free for everyone."
Yeah.
So the only people doing it are going to be the political candidates?
I don't know. I think it has to come from such a high level of government and regulations and how they're going to try and tackle this problem, because it's gone so out of control. When you start to talk about trillions of dollars in debt, you got to figure out some type of way. And I think someone like a Bernie is now coming to the table saying like, let's look to Wall Street and let's look to other areas to help solve this problem,
This is something we're always going to continue to talk about, so we're just going to keep moving. We're doing in today's main story.
What is that?
Mark Zuckerberg?
Mr. Mark Zuckerberg
is creating his own currency, and it's called Libra.
Go, Mark. Go, Mark. What will the man do next?
So it's going to be launched at the end of this year. I first got a hold of this story maybe like a week ago.
Yeah.
And it was just a quick snippet, but
yeah, I remember you brought it up to me last week. And I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, there's now there's now stories coming out about it every day, and it's Bitcoin was something that rose and fell pretty quick. I always kind of knew that like Bitcoin wasn't going to be like the cryptocurrency. This might not be the cryptocurrency, and when you read the stories, they're saying it's not necessarily a cryptocurrency, but they're putting it in that category. But the kind of funny thing is, you remember Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss.
That's right. Of course, the Winklevoss twins.
Well, remember they were originally they got crushed by Zuckerberg once before.
Yep.
They were actually kind of big investors in Bitcoin too. So I actually think they may have made some money off Bitcoin.
Interesting.
They also have a cryptocurrency coming out called Gemini.
Get out. You're kidding me.
I swear.
So there's two.
Well, there's a lot being built in different areas, right?
Yep.
People are trying to find what the next currency is on cryptocurrency or how that works, and everybody's trying to get to that race.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting that they're both star signs, which doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day. But it's in the same consensus. Money doesn't really. What is it?
Yeah.
And people are trying to recreate a new currency or a new way to the world financially works. Essentially they're trying to cut fees. So like if you were to work with a bigger bank, a Western Union or a Bank of America, whatnot, you got fees.
Right.
Here they're not saying you have fees, but also like one thing that's very noted that Bitcoin didn't have, they didn't have backers or financial supporters. So there's 27 people, and they've already Libra's already been
Libra's Marks, right?
Libra's Marks, and they've already got a non-profit side of it launched with 27 other partners, venture capitalists. Listen to some of these partners, dude.
Yeah.
MasterCard, Visa, PayPal, Uber, Lyft. Like these are eBay. These are some of 27 of these companies that are already going to back Libra, that they're going to use Libra. Right. So if you've got your credit card, right? And you've got it connected to your Uber, to your Lyft, to your Bird, to your whatever. If you have your Libra account, you can then attach it to any of these brands. So you can pay with your Lyft, pay with your Uber.
Right.
You can use these things. So Bitcoin never had any financial not financial backers. Sorry, never had any support. They never had anything backed up by the financial system. Bitcoin was just on its own.
Right.
So it was just kind of Wild West.
Right.
Right. Like it was people. It was known in the beginning. The guys in jail. One of the guys is in jail that was the original partners on it, but like people used it to essentially like deal drugs worldwide because you couldn't back it. There was no way to track Bitcoin. It was just.
I know it was the value in it was what someone was willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like this kind of crazy concept, and I'm still I don't understand nearly enough about cryptocurrency or any of this stuff.
But I don't think.
But what is the value of like Libra? So if I use my Libra account, whatever. And I'm going to talk from a just pure grade 1 from this. Like if you use your Libra to pay for an Uber, what is the value of Libra? Like, is it just you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the value? If I know I'm paying Uber with my credit card, I know that I'm going to get a bill for that.
Like essentially, I think that you're going to like put your money into a Facebook bank.
Right.
So then they hold your money.
Right.
And then they're saying with no fees.
Right.
Who we know pretty well, Gunnar from Thrive Market, has also kind of created a low-income bank as well. It's like people are on this right now. Kids, especially going back to like college debt and where debt's at and the world's at.
Yeah.
Most people are living in debt. So the banks are the ones that win off everybody because they charge you. Every time you do something, you basically get charged.
Yep.
The next thing is basically saying, hey, we're not going to charge you for anything.
Yeah. Interesting.
My question is like, is Mark Zuckerberg doing this just because the Winklevosses have been a part of crypto? Like they were big advocates of Bitcoin.
Right.
And I kind of think Bitcoin was like a pyramid scheme. I think people up top, they knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But then everybody became this like phenom and everybody put money into it. And like the people up top broke off.
Mark's like, I'm going to crush the Winklevoss twins again. Maybe that's it. Maybe that has something to do with it, man. I don't know.
But it goes back to it. Like, look what Facebook did in the beginning.
Yeah.
They came in and like Messenger and MySpace and these things were there, but they came in and like crushed a market, right?
Yeah.
Now they're probably one of the biggest media outlets and biggest companies in the world.
Yeah, the biggest content outlet that never has invested $1 into content. I don't think
they did. They had Facebook had original series like
the amount of content they have.
The Ball brothers,
right?
They had like a show on there with their dad, and like that was successful. They did start trying to invest in content, but it didn't really work out for them.
Yeah,
it didn't work out It didn't work out for them at all. Like, do you think that if cryptocurrency and now Facebook and you've got all these other people going after it, is that something that like these other bigger companies like Google would ever be interested in too?
Maybe. I think once you prove it out,
because essentially what it's doing is I think Facebook already knows what you like and what you don't like, right?
Right. Of course.
Why would you need to punch in a credit card when they know what you like and it's just going to send you there? You're just, I like this, I can buy it, it's on my Facebook account.
Right.
Just like it's on your Amex, or just like it's on your Visa, or just like it's on your Bank of America card, it's now just on your Facebook.
It's true. It's cutting out another piece of, it's cutting out the middle piece, another middle piece.
Yeah.
To have it all be Facebook world,
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's interesting. Well, Libra it is. Let's see how this thing goes.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, crazy.
I thought you would really kind of
crazy to think about
like that,
but that stuff just trips my mind out. But I love how people are thinking about stuff in that way.
So Nipsey Hussle's back in the news again.
Yeah, and the man never leaves the news. It's so rad.
Yeah, he's become forever kind of relevant.
So cool.
So before he passed away, he was the week he was actually killed. He was supposed to have a meeting with the LAPD about trying to unify like gangs. Trying to bring the Bloods and the Crips and the Pyros and trying to bring everybody kind of together and trying to help youth from
get into gangs,
not get into gangs, right?
Get this gang culture out, yeah.
So on Saturday last week, the Bloods and the Crips, I think it was in a park here in Los Angeles, and it was about 15 of them met, and they decided to unify and say no more shootings between gangs.
That's incredible. So, but how big of a movement is that now? I mean, it's on the cover of the, LA Times now, or what is that?
Yeah, well, it's all over. BET, LA Times.
Yeah.
Like, LA Times has been covering Nipsey's death really well.
Yeah.
But again, we've had this conversation, and it's like, think about Mike Smith, our partner. It's legacy over likes, and it's about legacy. And Nipsey's legacy is going to, and it's proving, be bigger, and the impact he had is going to be bigger by him being gone and not here, because of all the work he was doing and what he did. And now people are going to start unifying, and that's a lesson we want to teach people about ego.
Cool. Yeah, 100%. I think this whole thing does really go back down to, you obviously have two complete opposite sides, right, in Bloods and Crips and what their beliefs are. And, I think the fact that they were able, a lot of that comes from ego, right? Of just like, okay, I'm a Blood or I'm a Crip. I side with this value or I side with this value. And so I think the fact that they were able to kind of let their egos down to say, hey, let's unite here and let's talk about the bigger issue of what's going on inside of the city is pretty insane.
Okay, so
you know what I mean? For gang members to come and do that, I think is pretty cool.
The world needs to unify. I think what we're doing with Find Your Grind is we're trying to unify people. We want people to work together. We want the world to work together, because if the world doesn't work together, the world we're in right now is going to implode.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you know that at being what you do with your work and how intense it is and some of the things you have to deal with, you know that you have to put ego aside at times.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's something I think you do very well.
Yeah, I mean, but didn't always do that very well. You've
had to learn.
Yeah, I've had to learn, but I grew up, playing on teams and being a part of, groups and just learning how to, I was an only child growing up, you know what I mean? So I was just
That's tough.
Yeah. It was, man. I was like, but I loved being out and being a part of teams and learning how to kind of control ego. But I think it even goes back down too to like people who are creating their own businesses or people who are looking for the next thing or so infatuated with their current thing that I feel like sometimes the ego will get you in trouble, right? Our boy Kevion says the ego is not your amigo, which I really love. But I think sometimes being able to take a step back to realize, hey, maybe I should shift in this direction, or maybe I should, try something new to see if this is going to work out better, I think is a huge part of looking inside at ego and being able to kind of let your ideas go sometimes to free up space for other things to come in, So I think that kind of is the lesson that ties back in my head to what this thing is with Nipsey. And I think it's very cool what the community and what these guys have done.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
There's our lesson. Real quick, Michael Lang, the creator of Woodstock, he's having a bit of permit troubles. We're only a month out.
Dude, is this Firefest 2.0?
And it seems that the permits are a little different than they were in the 50s.
Is this Firefest?
And right now we're 3 to 4 weeks out, and they are looking for a new venue.
Let me tell you this right now. Just stop there, because I have a live events business in here in GrossLabs. It's called Big Noise Live. And I've learned a ton about the live business over the past couple months. When you do not have a venue or a 4-wall in place for a thing called Woodstock a couple weeks out, it is nothing but bad news and trouble signs. I'll tell you that right now. What are people think? It's
so they
crazy.
They got a new Vernon Downs. They got a new permit that will hold 65,000 people. Originally, it was supposed to be 150,000 people. I don't know, Michael Lang. I think you're up shit creek without a paddle.
My goodness, never a good idea to get 150,000 people together in general.
Yeah.
Hey, but here's the other last thing that I'm going to throw at you. Ready for this one?
Yeah.
Dingo's the one always doing. By the way, I want to give a huge round of applause to Dingo for putting this whole thing together every week. I mean, he really does. You really do a lot of research. I'm speaking like you're not in the room. He does a lot of research and a lot of time behind these topics and things, and it makes this show happen and makes it move. And I appreciate all the stuff and all the things that you're doing.
I appreciate it. We got a good little system. We got Callahan, who gives me my bullet points.
Yeah.
And then I go off and find some stories that I want to talk about, that I know you want to talk about. And we're gonna continue doing this, and we're gonna get better and better.
But here's the last thing that I'll leave you with, right? Because I've done a little bit of research today, which is actually not the most positive note to leave on. This morning, I saw that a young girl from USC went to the Bahamas and was snorkeling and got eaten by 3 sharks.
You can't end the show like that, dude.
Dude,
that was not on the blueprint.
Dude, I'm so sorry to end it like that.
But Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. But this is so insane to me because
you can't laugh.
The Bahamas.
I watched the Meg last night.
So I was just snorkeling in the Bahamas a couple weeks ago.
Oh man, that is really sad. And my condolences go to her family.
It's insanity.
But there's more and more sharks everywhere. There's sharks right down the road.
So, and I bring this up too because last week I stepped on a stingray for the first time in Laguna Beach because there's all this all these different animal life and things coming in because you don't allow fishing there. So I stepped on a stingray. It's insane to think about a shark. I thought it was a shark biting my ankle off. That's how bad it hurt. But thoughts go out. I thought it was a crazy story, and I wanted to share something. At least from my end,
Yeah, well, way to end on a sad note. Condolences to her, and just be careful out there in the waters. Like, really try and pay attention because it gets irky out there. And I know here in California, I literally duck dive every single time. Not that I surf that much anymore, but my eyes are wide open. Like, I think a shark's coming every time.
Yeah, your eyes wide open, especially after watching Meg. Jeez, crazy. All right, well, take care.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.